next is what are the equipments that we use in taping. This we also need to know the important equipments while conducting the taping techniques that we need to carry with us. First one of them is plumb bob. Okay, now I will explain why plumb bob is necessary and what is its usage. Okay, plumb bob is generally used. Suppose what is happening, you are conducting a survey on hilly surface, or you can say the ground surface is not level. So now if you want horizontal distance between first point and the second point, and this surface is not horizontal, it is inclined. So to calculate the horizontal distance between those 2 points, you have to consider the tape at first point exactly above this station, so that you can measure horizontal distance directly. Okay, so what we do generally is we hold the tape at a certain distance above, so that both the points come horizontal. Now when we are holding the tape horizontally above, how we can know whether that point which we are holding above this particular station A, is it exactly above this point? So for that what we do, we hang a plumb bob that you can see in the figure with the help of a string. Now due to the gravitational force of that plumb bob, the string will be perfectly vertical. Now it will display when it touches the ground surface, it will display whether it is exactly at that station mark or not. If the plumb bob that is hitting the ground is exactly at that particular station mark from where you need to take the reading, then you can locate this point in the air with the help of hand only, and from here you can hold the tape perfectly horizontal. Okay, so this is why plumb bob is required to mark the point exactly above the ground. Okay, so as we can keep the tape from there horizontal. Okay, so it is just used to transfer the station point located on the ground to above. Okay, vertically above the ground. Okay, so this is very much important while when we are conducting survey that is not a flat ground. Okay, on hilly terrains or any other undulated grounds where two stations are not located at the same level, we need to use plumb bob to transfer the point vertically above the ground. Okay, second one that comes is hand level. This is also very much important to understand. What happens in hand level, now we will try to understand this. See, we have located this, we are considering same example again. It is a case of hilly terrain. We have located the point with the help of plumb bob vertically above the station. Now what we will do, from this point when we are measuring the horizontal distance, we need to check whether the tape which we are holding is horizontal or not. Okay, to check that, hand level is used. In hand level what happens is, it has got a spirit level attached to that, and it has got a telescope. Through telescope we can look forward, and spirit level has got a leveling means fluid in that, through which we can check the bubble whether it is located exactly at center or not. If that bubble is located exactly at center, we can get an idea that this level is perfectly horizontal. So with the help of this level, it has got a spirit level attached to it, which gives us the track whether the device which you are holding is perfectly horizontal or not. Okay, as soon as it has gone level, you can hold the tape perfectly parallel to it. Okay, or you can say horizontal to it. Now your tape will be going horizontal. Why it is used? See, you can do this leveling technique using tripod and by installing or mounting a dumpy level, auto level or any other instrument with it. But generally, if we need to keep fast track readings, we can just hold the hand level with the help of hand. That is why it is known as hand level. Or you can place it on any suitable surface that is smooth and perfectly plain. Okay, so that you don't have to keep hold of it, and it will display the horizontal distance when it has gone level. From there you can keep track of readings and you can measure your distances. This I will tell you with the help of figure also when we move forward, hopefully in the next slide only. Second one is Abney hand level. This we also call as clinometer. Okay, it also serves the same purpose when we have located that particular point above the ground. With the help of that leveling tube, we can keep that perfectly level or horizontal. Now from there, if we need to keep track or if we need to locate any other point that is located at a certain angle, so with the help of that clinometer that we are having, it has got graduations in it along its edges. You can see in the clinometer or Abney hand level, you can see it has got graduations attached to it, which also displays to us the angle. The angle which our device will be making, we can get record of that using apne hand level, and when we hold that at a particular distance vertically above, okay, when we are holding that apne hand level at particular distance and we level it, we locate certain point, and if we need to locate any other point, then we fix it here, okay, and then we locate any other point which we need to keep track of. Okay, suppose we are looking forward to find the height of a building. We just got track of this perfectly horizontal level, and with the help of this horizontal level we will look at perfectly top of the building. When we look at top of the building, what will happen? When we are looking at top of the building, so we will get the angle which that clinometer is making. Okay, with respect to horizontal surface, the angle which it is making, we will get that. And once we get the angle, and horizontal distance will be known to us. Horizontal distance we can measure directly using tape. So once we have taken the horizontal distance using this hand level with the help of a tape, and the angle is known to us. So using trigonometry, simple trigonometrical analysis, this horizontal distance will be known to us, that particular angle will be known to us, and now we can easily measure the height of a building. Okay, so this is how we can calculate the height of a building using this clinometer also. Okay, and it can be used to locate different points. The best part of it is, with respect to horizontally level surface, we can get angle of any elevated point. Okay, I will show this practically with the help of examples also, so that you understand that in a better way. Okay, here you can see hand level is shown. Same technique that I told you just now, it is displaying. It is displaying the usage of plumb bob as well as hand level in case of hilly area. Okay, hilly area, by hilly area I mean where the ground surface is not horizontal or it is not a leveled surface. So at station A, you can see this station A is located below station B. So to measure the horizontal distance between station A and B, what we will have to do, we will have to use plumb bob to transfer that station A point vertically above station A. Okay, so that we know that particular point where our hand is located, it is exactly above that station A if the plumb bob that is hanging with the help of string from our hand is touching station A. Okay, once we get track of that particular point which is perfectly above A, we will use hand level to take horizontal readings. If the level tube that is there, spirit level, it shows the bubble exactly at center, it means our level is perfectly horizontal, and we will use our tape perfectly parallel to that. Okay, or you can say it will be now perfectly horizontal, and we will stretch that till station B, and now we can easily get the horizontal distance with the help of markings in the tape. Okay, we can easily read out the reading. So this is how we can use, or we can take out the horizontal distance directly using tape or hand level. So this is the use of hand level and plumb bob basically in case of measuring horizontal distance in sloping grounds. Okay, so this was the first implementation. Second implementation, you can see, as I told you just now previously, that it can be used to calculate the height of a building or any other thing. Okay, maybe it is a case of flyover and you need to locate that particular point on the flyover. Okay, or any other obstruction that is coming. Suppose you are constructing an airport and you don't want any obstruction in between. You just need to check whether that particular tree or whether that particular construction area, how much height it is having, so that it doesn't cause any hindrance in the outer part. So you can just do all these calculations without hindrance to anyone using surveying equipment. What you need to do, you can see a person is standing at a certain distance from that building. He knows the horizontal distance between himself and the building. That can be taken out with the help of a tape directly. Once he knows this horizontal distance, with the help of apne hand level, he is standing vertically above. He will use plumb bob to transfer the points to the ground, and then what he can do, he can make it level with the help of apne hand level, and then with the help of graduations, now he will try to move it upwards and try to sight the topmost point of the building with the help of a telescope. Once he sights the topmost part, he will fix it there and will read out the angular measurement of the reading. Once he gets that particular angle which is enclosed there, what will happen? He knows that angle alpha which is shown here. He knows this distance D, the horizontal distance, now he can easily found H1. What is H1? H1 is the vertical height of the building above the surveyor's eye level. So H1 will be what? D. You can just use the concept of tangent formula. Tan alpha will be equal to H1 upon D. Tan alpha is perpendicular upon base. So you can just get this perpendicular distance, that is H1, as D tan alpha. Similarly, if you want to calculate height H2, see, if you don't require it to very much accuracy and you know that the place where you are standing and where the building is located at perfect same level, then what you can do, you can find the height at where you are standing. Okay, that will be H2. Your height you can directly measure till your eyesight level, or if you have mounted the instrument at that point, you can find with the help of level. Okay, so you will get to know H2. Otherwise, same technique you can follow for below also. Just where you are standing, cite the point at the bottommost part of the building. Make it level with respect to horizontal. Take the reading to bottommost part of the building. You will get to know the angle that you have traversed from horizontal to bottommost part of the building. Suppose that is beta. So you know that beta angle. You know the distance D, horizontal distance. So you can calculate H2. H2 will be D tan beta. Once you have got H1 and H2, you can find exact height of the building. That will be the summation of these two readings. Okay, I have tried to just give few rough estimate values so that with the help of that you can try to understand. Okay, so suppose if D 50.37 meter is the distance between the surveyor and the building where it is located, and height of the eyesight of surveyor is 1.55 meter. So with the help of that I have tried to give that H2 is 1.55 meter for now. Okay, 50.37 meter is the distance between the surveyor and the building, and 35 degree is the angle which he has measured with the help of Abney hand level from perfectly horizontal level to the topmost part of the building. Okay, so now what he knows the angle alpha. He will calculate the value of H1 as D tan alpha, where D is 50.37 meter and alpha will be 35 degree. So 50.37 tan 35 will be this angle, and now H1 is known to us, H2 is given to us as 1.55 meter. When we add both these values, then we can easily calculate the height of the building. So you can see how easy it gets with the help of surveying instruments, and you can do all the calculations without even causing hindrance to anyone. Okay, so this is how one more application of Abney hand level. Now once more you can see what we are trying to do. Suppose if two station points are located very much farther away. Okay, this station A and station B are located very much further away, and it is a case of sloping ground, whether the gradient may be falling, the grade line may be falling as we move forward, or it may be rising. So what we need to do is, we just need to break the entire segment into different parts. Okay, first, second, third, fourth, we can break it in different parts so that we don't have to conduct the survey for entire area at once. Now what we have done, when we have broken it into different parts, for each and every segment we can easily measure the slope distance. Slope distance along the ground surface you can easily measure with the help of tape. Okay, you just hold the tape at one point and at other point, since it is perfectly parallel to the ground surface, you will get that distance. Okay, suppose for first part, as you can see in the figure, it is mentioned that this distance is equal to 52 meter. So you know this distance 52 meter, this sloping distance it is, and this angle is also known to us as 47 degree 33 minutes, that you can easily measure with the help of hand level, that Abney hand level. Once you know this angle and you know this sloping distance, so what you need to do to calculate the horizontal distance, just multiply this sloping distance into cos of 47 degree 33 minutes. Okay, this sloping distance that is shown there, it has to be multiplied just by that angle which is made with respect to the horizontal. Once you know this reading, okay, so you have got horizontal reading for initial point that is shown here as B, and that particular second point which we have considered as break point station. Okay, that temporary station we have assumed. We will get the horizontal distance between those 2 points. Once we get horizontal distance between those 2 points, then from this second point we will get the distance to next point. How? Again we can measure the slope distance, same way using tape, okay, or any other measurement technique we can just if we are not able to get the horizontal distance. This is just the application second way. If we are not trying to measure the distance using means horizontal distance directly using plumb bob and hand level, then what we can do is we can measure the distance along the ground surface. We have got the slope distance, we have got the angle which this slope surface is making with respect to the horizontal. So once we have got the angle, we have got the slope distance, we can just calculate the horizontal distance between those 2 points by slope distance into cosine of theta. Same way we will get horizontal distance for this second part. For entire field we can break it into these many segments. We can calculate the slope distance along ground surface, and then measuring the angle we can calculate the entire horizontal distance between station A and B. Okay, so this is the technique that we generally follow to measure the horizontal distance between 2 points. So you have seen 3 to 4 cases which we generally use. Okay, so this was basically the application of hand level basically. So 2 equipments we have already studied. First one was the plumb bob that was used to transfer the points vertically above the ground, and second one was hand level that was used to keep the tape at that particular point perfectly horizontal. Okay, third one is clamp handle. Clamp handle may be used at times in case of tape surveying just to hold the tape. Okay, what happens is that those 2 circles which you are seeing that you can hold with the help of hands, because if the taping procedure is being used day in and day out continuously, then your hands may be aching if you hold the tape directly like this just by means encircling it. Okay, so what you can do is you can use these handles that you can insert in your fingers, and then at the other end what you can do, that tape can be inserted. Okay, that tape is inserted, it has got just a means a marking there to insert the tape, just a hole is there where the tape can be inserted, and afterward it can be fixed there. Once it is fixed, then you can move the tape using this clamp handle. Okay, so it is just the end point of the tape. Using this clamp handle you can hold the tape and the tape can be fixed within it. Okay, once it is done, then you can conduct the survey as it is done. But you need to keep track of when you have used clamp handle that from where the zero mark of the tape is starting. It may start outside of the clamp handle, or sometimes it may start inside. So from wherever the zero mark of tape is starting, you need to keep the initial station from that point. Otherwise it may lead to wrong results. Okay, so you need to keep this in mind. But mostly this clamp handle is used when the survey which we are conducting or the distance which we are measuring at that particular site continuously are lesser than that tape length. Okay, if the distance is lesser than that tape length, then you can start from any other reading also. Okay, and then you can subtract that. But if the distance is very much large and you are using tape lengths continuously, okay, then you will have to look forward. Next thing is chaining pins. Okay, what is the implementation or usage of these chaining pins? Chaining pins are generally used when suppose you are conducting the survey, it is a long survey. First survey you start from point A. From point A to point B you calculate the tape length. Okay, suppose you are using the tape of 50 meter length. From point A to point B you have done that taping, it is 50 meter. Now you start from point B, here the person stands, and from point B to point C you measure the distance as 50 meter. Then from point C you will go ahead. But what is happening when you have reached point C? You have lost point A and point B on the ground. Okay, and if you require that afterwards just to check accuracy of those results, then those points are lost. Okay, so what we do, as soon as we move ahead with next points, we insert chaining pins on those field in the field on the ground. Okay, it is just inserted into the ground in the soil surface, and you can see it from anywhere. It is basically in red and white color, so it can be even seen from large distances, and it is generally used to denote the stations from where we have measured the chaining, where we have done the chaining. Okay, so all those station points will be displayed with the help of these chaining pins that we are using. Okay, so next comes leveling rod. Okay, in this process, range poles. These ranging poles, where they are used, we very well need to understand its implementation also. Okay, what is basically happening? Same example I will give you. There is a person at point A. Okay, there is a person at point B. You are conducting the chain surveying. From point A, a person is holding one end of the tape, and point B other end of the tape. Okay, you have measured the distance between point A and B as 50 meter if it is 50 meter tape. Now when that second person is locating this point B, okay, suppose you have to measure the distance from point A to point C. So you have located one intermediary point between, that is at a distance of 50 meter. But how will you get to know whether that station B which you have marked, okay, is in perfectly line with this ABC? Because if we have to measure distance between A and C, the shortest distance between these two lines will be straight line. These 2 points will be straight line. So that point B which we have located in between, it should be exactly in straight line with it. If that intermediary point is not in a straight line, then what will happen is this reading that we have reported will be an inclined reading and it will not be the shortest distance. And the value which we report will be higher than that, the actual value. Okay, so what we need to do, we insert ranging pole at the first point and at the last point. The surveyor who is standing at the first point, that point A, okay, the back surveyor who is there, rear surveyor, what he does, when the front surveyor has moved to point B and when he has measured the complete tape length of 50 meter and he is about to insert the chaining pin there, the person will guide him from point A whether where he is standing is exactly in line with the leveling rod or not. So that leveling rod of sufficient height is situated there and it can be seen from that distance, and that back surveyor will instruct the head surveyor to locate that chaining pin in the ground at a distance of 50 meter, which is perfectly in line with those two leveling rods. Okay, that's why these ranging poles are required and they are inserted into the ground. And if at times the survey is done in a short field, suppose it is a closed survey where we are trying to locate 5 different points, so what we can do is we can insert ranging poles at each and every point, all those 5 stations, so that we don't have to locate those stations again and again. And then by mounting the instrument at one particular station, we can do survey of all the points. We can find the RL, we can find the distance between those 2 points just by mounting the instrument at one point. Okay, so those points can be located permanently till that survey is being conducted. So just to locate those stations, range poles are used. Next one is plumb bob target. Okay, this is also important, but this is not used every time. What is plumb bob target? See, when we studied about plumb bob, what it was doing, it was trying to locate a point vertically above the ground surface so that we can check from where we are doing the taping whether that point is located at that particular station which we are talking about. So for that, what we did, we dropped a plumb bob with the help of a string and we tried to touch it to the ground exactly at the station point. So, but it is very difficult to locate that station point on a soily surface. Okay, every time you will have to locate that point to check whether that plumb bob is touching the exact center of that or not. So what we do, wherever we reach, we carry a plumb bob target with us and place it in the field exactly at the station, and then we check when we drop the plumb bob whether it is touching the exact center of this plumb bob target or not. If it is touching exact center, it means that our target, that our point which we have located with the help of hand from where we are going to conduct the survey, it is exactly vertically above that target which we are talking about. Okay, next comes tension handle. What is the use of tension handle? Tension handle basically is used, as I told you about tape surveying, we studied just now, that the tension force which we need to apply at both the ends, it should be 50 Newton. Okay, so tension force of 50 Newton is the standard tension force that we need to apply. So at times, if you have not got an idea of how much tension force is being applied, what we generally do is that 50 Newton tension, it will display this has got a readings, and when you apply tension force to the tape with the help of these tension handles, you can get an idea when you have applied this tension force of 50 Newton, so that you can get a rough estimate of it. It is not required every time, because with the help of experience you can get to know. The only condition is that your tape should not be sagging, so much less force should not be applied, because if lesser force is applied, then it is required to keep the tape in tension. Then what will happen, it will not display us the exact reading. And if you insert higher force, if the force that you are applying is greater than the previous value, then what will happen, its length will increase. and if its length will increase, the value reported will be higher because the tape length may increase if sufficient higher force is applied. Steel tapes are even ductile in nature. Ductile tapes have the tendency to elongate with extra force. Okay, so we need to keep track of that also.